What is up, everybody? In this video, I'm gonna tell you guys why good fades don't matter that much. Now, before I get into this video, I do want to start by saying that being good at fading does matter. I'm a huge believer in us striving to be the best barbers and people that we can be. I mean, the whole purpose of my channel is to help people learn to be better barbers so they can grow and be better barbers, and then they can show other people how to be better barbers. I literally have videos up on my channel showing people how to do good fades. I've also gained clients because they've seen a fade that I've given to someone else. They matter. But I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Fades are overrated. And here are my 5 reasons why. Numero uno. Good fades don't last that long. Let me ask you all something. Can you see if there's any lines in the side of my head? How blurry does the side of my head look? I know I got a horrible hairline. God didn't bless me with a good set of hair. I just got my hair cut 2 weeks ago. I could have gotten the best fade east of the Mississippi and you would not be able to tell today. I also could have got a jacked up fade by Carl in the break room at Walmart, and you really wouldn't be able to tell 2 weeks later. But you know what does last long? The shape that you cut into someone's hair. You ever seen someone 2 weeks after they got their hairline pushed too far back? Or when they got their crown just cut off? It looks horrible. I always tell the barbers that I teach that a good barber can give a haircut that looks good for 3 days, but a great barber can give a haircut that looks good for 3 weeks. And you give the customer some longevity when you cut the hair according to the shape of their head, when you pay attention to how their hair wants to grow. Because, newsflash, their hair does grow back. The shape of the cut lasts. The fade doesn't. And just a quick tip, if you want to raise your prices, make your haircuts last longer. So if you're a brand new barber and you just messed up someone's fade, don't get upset about it. Just try and get that person back in your chair in a few weeks and give them an even better fade. And if you're an experienced barber that gives amazing fades, that's awesome. You've mastered fades. Now it's time to master another area of haircutting, which leads me to my next point. Number 2, there are other parts to a haircut than just a fade. Now, I've only been a barber for 4 years, but I've been a barber long enough to see some trends change, because the majority of people that came to the shop where I first started wanted a short scissor cut on top with either a skin fade or a shadow fade on the side. Fades were king in that shop. But we live in a day where people are getting more and more creative with the way they wear their hair. And if you're like me, you have a lot of clients that are rocking some longer hairstyles now because they decided to grow it out during the quarantine. They decided to show up to your shop looking homeless, and they decided they wanted to leave it a little longer because it was so hard to grow out. But this creative trend is gonna keep on going. And that's awesome for our industry, by the way. But fades aren't the only thing that people are looking for anymore. What happens when someone sits in your chair and they want a pompadour? Or they want a number 4 on the side and they just want a little trim off the top? Or what if they want a hot towel shave? Can you do these services well? Are you well-rounded as a barber? When I first started cutting hair, I'd spend like 5 minutes giving them the quick choppy chop with my scissors on the top of their head. Then I'd spend the next 45 minutes to an hour trying to give them the best fade that I ever did. I paid 0 attention to my scissor work. Now I spend about 10 minutes cutting the top of their head and blow drying it. Now I spend about 15 minutes cutting their head with scissors, styling it, blow drying it, and then I'll spend another 15 to 20 minutes fading the side with my clippers. Ask yourself if you can improve in one of these areas. Try to even out the time that you spend in your haircuts. Don't just give the top 2 to 5 minutes and then fade the side the rest of the time. And here's another quick tip. If the top of someone's head is cut uneven, your clients are more likely to notice that than they will if there's a slight line in the fade in the back of their head. So pay attention to those details, because I promise you, if you give an amazing fade versus a perfect fade, your client's not gonna notice the difference. But they will see if they got some long hair on the top of their head, or if you left a little bit of hair behind their ear when you're balding them out. Number 3, customer service matters more. We are in the customer service business. I can't stress that enough. It's way too often that I see or hear about a barber that starts feeling themselves, gets a little too cocky, and then starts treating their clients really poorly. People get haircuts by people they like. If you're a jerk, it doesn't matter how good the haircuts are that you give, you won't have any clients. And I've actually seen this play out the complete opposite way. I've seen barbers that give horrible fades. Like, I'm talking a line left all the way around their head type of fade. And guess what? They're overbooked. They make over 6 figures a year. And why do you think that is? It's because they treat their clients well. They're likable. They listen to their clients. Their clients like to come in and listen to their stories. They're funny. They're nice. They have good customer service skills. Being a barber does not exist without clients. People will always need haircuts, but they will go somewhere else, regardless of your skill level, if you continue to treat them the wrong way. So greet people when they come in the shop. Don't get all crazy and offended if they happen to sit with someone else in your shop. Be friendly. Practice your communication skills just as much as you do your haircutting skills. How you make people feel will last longer than any fade ever could. Number 4, sanitation is your reputation. How many times do you think someone's gonna come back to you after you gave them a skin rash? I'll answer that one for you. 0. All it takes is for one person to get something from being in your chair and you're toast. Nobody wants to go to an unsanitary barber, especially considering the fact we're in the middle of a pandemic. The first shop that I ever went to as a client in my life was filthy. There was hair everywhere. You'd have hair all over you just from sitting on the couches in the waiting area. Now, I understand that most of you probably don't own a barber shop, so you can't really control how the other barbers carry themselves, or maybe you can't even control how the waiting area looks, but you can control your station. Sweep in between your clients. Spray disinfectant on all of your tools right in front of the clients. Use a neck strip. You'd be surprised how many people notice that stuff. I promise you, you'll gain a lot of clients if you're the cleanest person in the shop. And it won't matter how blurry your fades are if you're the dirtiest barber in the shop. Number 5, being a professional matters. This kind of ties in with my last 2 points, but I just wanted to touch on this. I used to work with a guy who gave the nicest fades in the shop that I worked at, but he was always late. He smoked cigarettes right in front of the shop in between clients. And sometimes he would just skip work and not even show up. He gave the nicest fades and he made the least amount of money. I ended up taking some of his clientele just because I was available and he wasn't. If you're consistently 15, 20, 30 minutes late on your appointments, people are eventually going to get fed up with that. They'll find someone else who's on time and gives a fade that's 90% as good as yours. Hair grows back. Time doesn't. If you're showing up late to work, or you're not even showing up to work at all, it doesn't matter what your fades look like. As a barber, you are a professional. You need to carry yourself that way. People will respect you for being a professional. And they'll be more likely to sit in your chair and give you a second chance, even if your fade wasn't perfect the first time. Be professional. So those are my reasons, guys, as to why I think good fades don't matter that much. I'm interested to hear what you guys think, so comment below or hit me up on IG. And as always, I'm here to help you learn so you can grow and we can all show others, baby. Peace.